So we're getting to the end of Trump's time in office. A lot of people were interested in seeing what he does on the way out the door. The first thing he's doing is tweeting nonstop that he's actually not on the way out the door, even though the Electoral College just got together and certified that Biden won. But outside of that, like, what's he going to do? Because it could have gone in either direction. He could have gone more insane and more terrible, or he could have surprised everybody and did some positive things. One of the things that we learned was he tried to go in the negative direction in regards to Iran. He doesn't want Joe Biden getting back in that Iran deal. So he was floating the idea of attacking some, prominent nuclear sites in Iran. And even the other neocon hawks were like, I don't know about that, dog. We can't be like transitioning from one administration to the next and start a hot war on the way out the door. That's insane. So even like Pompeo was like, gotta pump your brakes, dog. I wish you told me this a year ago. We would have done it. So that was one thing where it was like, okay, this is terrible. He's going to go in that direction. But then he also at the same time is talking about, we're going to get out of Iraq and Afghanistan. He wants that to be part of his legacy. But he's doing it in the most cuck way imaginable because he's keeping 2,500 troops there. That's not a withdrawal. That's exactly what Obama did. He pretended like he was getting out and he would just draw down the troops and still leave thousands there. If there are thousands there, it's not a withdrawal. Imagine thousands of Chinese troops occupying Texas. Would they be like, it's okay. This is not a boots on the ground hot war. We're just here. No, shut up and get out. So they've gone, there's been evidence that maybe he'll go this way, maybe he'll go that way. But there's one thing that everybody's on the same page for. A lot of people on the right, a lot of people on the left. I'm talking about actual people, not the establishment goons who really run the country. But it was trending the past few days. Everybody's calling for a pardon of Assange and Snowden. And I'm here to say, I really hope he does it. Is he going to do it? I have no idea. And if he does end up doing it, it would be for all the wrong reasons. But I don't really care. Because as long as they get pardoned, that's what matters. So Glenn Greenwald has made this point a number of times that if Trump were to do it, it would simply be because him doing it would piss off a lot of the people who are a thorn in his side and who don't like Trump. There's a lot of people who are in the intelligence agencies, in the deep state, Brennan, Susan Rice, Clapper, like a lot of these people who hate Trump and happen to be wrong on this issue, just to spite them, Trump might do it to be like, take that, bitch. So Glenn Greenwald is sort of playing up that personal angle of it and almost leaning into that. The other thing I've seen people do is they tweet at Trump as if they're like insufferably smug liberals who are like, don't you dare pardon them. I wouldn't want you to own the libs so hard by pardoning them. Like, they're trying to play this game where it's reverse psychology with Trump to bait him into doing it. Does it have a chance of working? I have no idea, guys. I have no idea. But, I hope he pardons them. And that's the whole point of this segment, is for me to remind everybody exactly who Julian Assange is, exactly who Edward Snowden is. So, in the case of Julian Assange, of course, WikiLeaks, he's the mastermind behind WikiLeaks, and what they did is they got information, classified information from Chelsea Manning, and we basically learned that our troops were committing war crimes in Iraq. We killed innocent civilians, then we circled back around and killed the first responders. It's called a double tap drone strike. We had video of it. The people who were doing it were laughing. Turns out we killed journalists. Chelsea Manning saw this. She has a conscience. She says people need to know about this. Got in touch with, WikiLeaks, gave Julian Assange the information, the video, and Julian Assange released it. This is what we like to call journalism. It's, oh my God, the government is classifying something that shouldn't be classified. They're only making it classified and top secret because they don't want people to realize the messed up thing that they did. So I'm not going to abide by that. I'm going to educate the public, and I'm going to release this. Guys, this is no different than Daniel Ellsberg and the Pentagon Papers for Vietnam, where we learned about how we were using Agent Orange and napalm on innocent villages and killing civilians. That stuff was classified too, but it was released. And now everybody looks back and they go, well, obviously that was the right thing to do. The government was hiding stuff that they shouldn't have been hiding. They were hiding war crimes. And now all of a sudden, with Julian Assange releasing it, we're still pretending like there's a question as to whether or not this was moral and just. Of course it's moral. Of course it's just. And all the arguments against him, by the way, are lies. They say like, oh, he was aiding and abetting like Russia and China and giving our secrets to our enemies. No, he wasn't. He was doing journalism and releasing stuff that exposed the powerful. That's what he was doing. Everything else is nonsense. He absolutely should be pardoned. Now, he used to have a lot of allies in the Democratic Party, Julian Assange did, but then they abandoned him. Why? Because of 2016. Because it was Julian Assange and it was WikiLeaks that, showed what happened internally with the DNC, how they basically rigged it against Bernie Sanders. And, we also got information about, Hillary Clinton's speeches where she talked about how we need totally free and open trade borders. She talked about how there's a bigotry against the rich in today's America. We learned about all this stuff because of WikiLeaks. This is stuff that there's a public interest in knowing this stuff. Again, journalism. And he releases it, and they say, oh my God, no. What if you got that stuff from Russia? There's no evidence of that. But they say, what if you got that stuff from Russia? This is Russian meddling in the election. No, it's somebody who's doing the role of a journalist, releasing information that should be released because it's in the public interest and it's exposing crimes. So that's what Julian Assange did. If Trump were to pardon him, it would be because pardoning him would piss off people that don't like Trump. And it would be because the unintended consequence, the upside of them leaking on the DNC was to help Trump in 2016. But it doesn't matter. You can't look at these things in a political sense. You have to look at them in a principled sense. He was doing the role of a journalist, period. You can't criminalize that or you're getting rid of the First Amendment. Then we have Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden tried very hard to get out information that was in the public interest. He was stonewalled. He tried to go through all the proper channels. He was stonewalled every time he did. He eventually got in touch with Glenn Greenwald, who was at The Guardian at the time, and he told him about the information he had, working for the NSA, working for a private contractor, I think Booz Allen Hamilton or something like that. Basically, the NSA was spying on all Americans and lying about it. They were collecting your metadata. They were way more involved in your private life than anybody could have guessed. And they were lying about it. I remember James Clapper asked if the NSA is collecting information on all Americans, and he said something along the lines of, no, not wittingly, which is a lie. They are indeed collecting everybody's information, and they're abusing their power. We learned from Snowden's leaks that you had people at the NSA spying on their love interests. I mean, think about that. We have no more Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment protects us from unreasonable search and seizure. Edward Snowden is a hero and a whistleblower, and he said, hey, the government is violating your Fourth Amendment protections. That's what's happening. So he exposed the powerful, so the powerful fought back. The powerful fought back. Joe Biden was the one who made a phone call because they heard maybe Edward Snowden is on a Bolivian plane with Evo Morales. So they grounded that plane to look for Snowden. Snowden wasn't on there. He was trying to get to South America, though, for asylum. They made sure he was stuck in Russia. Joe Biden made sure he was stuck in Russia. And then they turn around and blame him and lie and say, oh, he's working with our enemies and our adversaries. Nonsense. Utter nonsense. This guy's a hero. This guy's a whistleblower. This guy showed you all Americans are being illegally and unconstitutionally spied on by the NSA. He showed that. And now he's got to hide away, even though history's already absolved him. Are you kidding me? It used to be you have to wait a few decades or more before history absolves you. Now we already know Edward Snowden's right. You know, everybody with a functioning brain who's not an establishment tool already knows Edward Snowden is right. So he absolutely should be pardoned. Julian Assange and Edward Snowden should be pardoned. Will he do it? I don't know. But this is me reminding everybody who they are, what they did, why they're American heroes, and why the correct thing to do is to pardon them. I don't care what Trump's petty motivations are. I don't care. If he does it because he wants to own the libs or own the deep state, whatever, cool. Just do the right thing.